Okay, quick disclaimer, this is tournament rules only. If you're like me and you believe that playing SpeedQB on a regular CQB field and destroying rentals is the fun way to go, by all means do that. I do that. It is obviously way better than tournaments. Tournaments I feel like can be a little bit boring sometimes, but for those who are wondering, these are the tournament rules for SpeedQB. Now obviously the rules change depending upon who's hosting it, who's sponsoring it, the teams that are playing, but here are some of the general, these rules will almost always be concrete. I'm going to give you some terms, names, positions. Actually, positions and plays are not even completely a thing in SpeedQB. However, generally speaking, teams will follow something along this format. I'm going to name the covers, but again, names of covers are all up to change in subjection depending upon who you ask. So without further ado, I'm going to start everybody off with elbows. Now, elbows are only elbows if they are pointed towards the center of the X, okay, or the plus, whatever's in the middle. If they are not, then they're called corners if they're pointing to the corners. Now, these things are called trees or Doritos. Most of the time, we just call them Doritos. The trees are usually the skinnier ones, though. If you have two trees or Doritos side by side with a smaller one in the middle, those are called mountains or mountain ranges. Here you have X's or pluses, which I will explain the benefits of choosing one over the other in a second for competition. These things we nickname either buildings or watchtowers, mostly because you have refs that stand on top of them during gameplay. Again, subjection. Here you have the snake is on the right and the left is just the left side of the field. You might be asking, why isn't the left side of the snake? Well, it would be, but the right side actually has a more zigzag pattern. If the right side wasn't there, the left side would then be called the snake, but because it's there, the right side is the snake. Here you have 3 X's in the middle, or 2 pluses and an X. I'm going to explain the benefits of both. Usually you don't see 3, you only see 1, and he has a very corner pattern, which isn't that popular, but for the mini model I'm using to express my example, you also see 3 X's here. However, usually it's 1. Now here are the benefits of both. X's allow for your runners to get to either the glowing disc or the bandana or flag significantly faster, and it's more runner focused. However, pluses allow you to cover your teammates better. Now you'll see in Australia they don't actually leave the flag on the X, and some other companies do this too. They actually dangle it above the X, so that way you have to jump up and grab it, which gives you a higher risk chance of being hit. Now you're going to see here in positions, I'm going to talk about that a little later, but the first person, and again the name can change, it's subjection, but I've always called them the runner. They're the guy with the smallest gun, usually a high kappa or a stubby M4. They're in the middle, they always run to the X, slide into the X. Their goal is to do nothing but get the flag. If they get kills, that is completely second. But what happens if your runner dies? Well, anyone can grab the flag, it doesn't matter. Like I'm showing you in this clip right here, this guy clearly isn't the runner, he's not like the fittest guy on the field, but he can still grab the flag. After you grab the flag, it just completely changes depending upon where you play, what you do with it. You're either going to bring it back to your side of the field and hit the wall, or for fields that encourage a more aggressive play, you're actually going to have to run to the enemy side and touch their spawn point for it to count. Okay, I'm going to start you guys off with the runner. The runner is the guy with the smallest gun. Again, runs to the X, grabs the flag, kills completely second. Very simple, always in the middle. He usually has his teammates having to cover him. He has probably the hardest job, and usually whichever runner kills the other runner usually ends up being the team that wins, for the most part anyways. Now a strategy so you don't have to run inside the entire game and you don't want to waste all your energy so you can continue to the next rounds is to try to kill the entire enemy team and then grab the flag. That way you get the most points. Now the point system is very hard to define, and I'll explain later at the end, but basically doing certain actions gives you more points, and the team with the most points out of best of 3 wins against that team. You have 2 support players. You have the right support and the left support player. They usually are running towards watchtowers or buildings on the right and left side. Their goal is to cover the runner and then the last position that I'm going to talk about after this. Usually they carry longer guns generally, however this is still SpeedQB, so you want smaller guns, but their goal is to make sure the runner can grab the flag as efficiently as possible.
SYG sealed the deal here. Moving further up the semifinal bracket.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. More than power, never. Ever after work is over. Harder, stronger, work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger.
These Kyles hopped up on Monster Energy drinks who stay up way too late with Cheeto fingers, who take the sport way too seriously, who don't care about Milsim, who don't care about looking cinematic, who came from X-Paintball. These are the guys that every rental fears, who make rentals cry. You can hear them coming from a mile away with their EDM dubstep beats in the background. I present to you Kyle.
Make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. More than ever, hour after hour, work is never over. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger.
Breakers are basically runners on steroids. They're on Monster, they're on crack cocaine. They don't care that there's a flag in the sport. All they want to do is run to your side, completely destroy your morale. They want to break you mentally and physically. And all they want to do is just give you a terrible day. They don't care about how many flags or wins they have. They just care how many times they can kill you and how many times they make you want to break your gun and walk off the field like immediately. And that's just all breakers are. Really quickly, I'm just going to show Tech City's official SpeedQB video on how to play at their specific field. This doesn't apply to all fields, but this is just their rules to give you a general sit rep of how points and stuff like that will work.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Guns on the wall!
Again, these are all tournament terms. If you're like me, the best way to play SpeedQB is in a regular CQB field without all these crazy rules and just destroying kids who have no idea how to play the sport. And there's a few things you should know at the very end of this video that I should mention for SpeedQB, and that is that, like, unlike regular CQB and other sports and stuff like that, there's not really much contact. Like, there's no melees or anything like there is in other parts of Airsoft. It's really just shooting. I'm pretty sure there's actually no minimum engagement distance, so you can point blank someone if you want. They definitely have your chrono and stuff like that before you do it, but still, that's one of the things you should know. Don't expect to get any melee kills, because that's just not how SpeedQB works. Always try to go for the flag. Always try to either touch your end or the other opponent's end, depending upon what the refs tell you. And those are basically like the very minimum basics, like what you need to know just to know what CQB is, or SpeedQB is. If you actually want to do this, I would recommend you get gear and you just go to a local indoor field and just practice there. Tournaments, while they can be fun, in my opinion, they're far too strict on everything and they don't give you enough freedom to really enjoy the sport to its fullest potential. So I hope you find this video helpful, and peace out.
Looking for some trouble tonight. Take my hand, I'll show you the wild side. Like it's the last night of my life.